Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 164, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I am here with my partner, Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
It's going. It's Saturday morning. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's Friday night. I was thinking it's Friday night, and the mood is right, TGIF.
Yeah, that's not quite.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's Saturday. Hey, what's up, Zachy?
I'll take it. It works.
Yeah.
So what's happening? What's new?
Oh, man. Start of the new year. Actually saw quite a few things. Thought I'd bring a couple of them up. I wasn't sure if you'd seen a couple of them. One I'm pretty sure you've probably seen. I think I'm the only person who hasn't seen this movie. I saw Pretty Woman for the first time.
Oh, really? Well, better late than never.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like a ton to say about it other than I was sort of surprised how much of it I already knew.
Sure.
You know, things you've seen parodied or just clips from things.
That's one of those, like, it kind of seeped into the cultural bloodstream.
Most definitely. I think I was surprised how big a character Jason Alexander was pre-Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's true.
What
an asshole he is in that movie.
Oh, he's like, yeah, he's this wormy, disgusting guy. But yeah, I thought it was, I mean, it's like no surprise. The world has fallen in love with it already, but I loved it. I thought it was a really good movie.
Well, you know, that's why people tune into the movie film shows for our hot takes and all our latest releases. Hey, you guys hear about this Pretty Woman?
It's pretty good.
This Julia Roberts, I think she's got a future.
I totally had that experience this weekend. I was like, wow, she's like...
this
she's
Julia
fantastic.
Roberts kid, she's going places.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I mean, look, there's not much to say because everyone could say it already to me. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I also saw something, A Simple Favor, the Paul Feig movie with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick.
Oh, yes, I heard about this. Yeah.
Now, I saw this because someone had told me this was one of the worst movies they had seen last year.
Wow.
And I saw on our Movie Film Facebook page, some people put it as one of their favorite movies of the year. So I was very curious to get to the bottom of this. And I get why they didn't like it. I think my ultimate bottom line on this movie is it felt like a really, really interesting idea made by the wrong person. I think.
Wow, interesting.
It's sort of like if Judd Apatow made Gone Girl. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's like a modern day chic noir sort of thing, but every scene is very, very bright. There's only medium shots throughout, probably because he was allowing his actors to improvise the entire time, which I don't know that did it any favors. It's just a movie that's trying so hard to be a thing, but I feel like the director decided he couldn't let it not be his thing versus what the movie I think was trying to be. I think one of the things is it's a very heightened story. So it may have been better served with a more heightened cinematic approach. And occasionally there are some leaps taken with characters and their actions and motivations. You know, there'll be like these turns, and I think a more pulpy, stylish approach may have sold those moments better.
I see.
So it was interesting. I mean, I was intrigued by it. I was never bored, and I was always curious where it was going. But every now and then, as things started to get more sinister, I was like, come on, man, can we get a little close-up? Like, do shadows exist in this world? Like, what? You know, it just felt very weird. Like I said, like a sort of, I mean, it was trying to be fun.
Sure.
But it was a noir, but it was shot like a bright comedy.
Yeah.
And so it just felt very confused by the end, and I felt like there were certain plot points that seemed to be bigger deals if I thought about them than the movie was making them. I don't know. It was. I completely understand why people are split on this one, and I have to say that I ultimately was like, oh man, that could have been great, and I don't know. I didn't.
It's a swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss for me.
Yeah.
But I did see The Upside.
Now this one, I was very curious to get your thoughts on because you really liked the Intouchables.
The Intouchables, yes, which was a very, very popular French movie. Apparently their highest-grossing French-produced movie of all time. And so this is with Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston playing a quadriplegic. Sorry if that came out wrong. And Kevin Hart being his sort of his caretaker who doesn't take the job very seriously, but they grow to become, best of friends and change each other's lives. And this is based on a true story. And, being a fan of The Intouchables, you get a little bit of and they're going to remake it with Kevin Hart. And you're like, oh, boy. It just kind of feels this sort of why? Just tell people to watch the original. And I would still recommend people watch the original because I think, a lot of it has to do, that movie is so beloved, I think, because of the chemistry between the two leads in that one.
Yes.
But I actually thought The Upside did pretty good. I went in a little cynical about it, and I thought they did a very good job. And for people that aren't going to seek out the original, I think people are going to enjoy it. I think it actually does have some good heart in there and some nice moments, and it's just a very, it's a very gentle, likable movie. And I think people are. Well, I was surprised to see that it was number one.
Yeah, I think it surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, but I think, going back to Green Book.
Yes,
where,
I was thinking about that.
Yes, I think some people, there's obviously a lot of unfortunate things swirling around that movie, but I think people want a nice movie, right? And I think Green Book was seeking to be that movie. I think The Intouchables could be that nice movie people are looking for.
Okay.
So, yeah, I recommend it.
Okay, that's I wouldn't say that's surprising, but the reviews have been kind of across the board,
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me again because when I say a nice movie, some people are gonna think it's a predictable movie, or it's well, two people don't like each other and then they become friends, and you're gonna have some sort of cliche moments, and it's well, I don't know. Sometimes that's what stories are, but
that's true. When
it's done in a way when I'm plugged in and I those moments make me smile or they make me tear up, then for me that worked.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. And then finally...
So speaking of making you smile and then tear up...
Yeah. I watched the first of 2 documentaries about the Fyre Festival.
Isn't this crazy? This is like the streaming age equivalent of Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yes. Well, so for people who don't know, Fyre Festival was supposed to be this Coachella for the super rich.
Yes.
Where tickets, were anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000. Excuse me. To go see this, lineup of Blink-182 and Kanye, but it was going to be on a private island. So you got flown to this island. You're going to stay in these luxurious villas and, have all this expensive food and be hanging out with influencers and supermodels, right? Like Kendall Jenner was advertising this thing on her Instagram. And
which, if ever there was a red flag.
Well, it's funny. In this documentary, they actually say that an advertisement or her pushing something on her Instagram is worth $250,000.
Which just makes you weep for civilization.
It's a whole new world. It's interesting, and it is there, and it's interesting seeing how people use these people now as marketing, as billboards, right? Yeah. And so anyway, they pushed this festival, and as many people probably know, I think it was about a year ago, the people who put this festival on were not equipped to do this, and people showed up, and there was nothing. There were no villas. There were FEMA tents.
Yeah, and it's like the aftermath of Katrina. Mm-hmm. If people willingly showed up for Katrina.
Paying $50,000 to be for the privilege of being there, and a lot of the famous images coming out of this were people being fed bread with cheese and mustard on it. Yep. Just desperation, here we got to feed these people kind of meals. And the thing that made this blow up, I think, was a catastrophe is always interesting, but it's a catastrophe happening to the super rich.
Yeah,
and so there's a lot of Schadenfreude going on.
Total Schadenfreude. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was really interested to see what happened. And what's fascinating about these 2 documentaries is they come at it from different points of view, but both are a little compromised. Mm-hmm. So Fyre Fraud Oh boy, I didn't think to pull up this guy's name, but who cares? The guy who
Billy
who
McFarland.
organized- I'm sorry,
Billy McFarland.
Billy McFarland. So he is interviewed in the Hulu documentary,
Yes.
and he was paid, which
Yeah,
people
like
are calling out.
125 or 250 grand, something like that.
That's what he claims. That's what he claims, because the Netflix people wanted to interview him as well, and he told them that's what he was paid, and he expected to be paid the same, and Netflix was like, nah.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Netflix, the documentary is being produced by the people who promoted the festival.
Right.
So
So it's
either
like
way,
two different kinds of compromised.
two different kinds of compromise. And, you know, even though McFarland is interviewed in the Hulu one, I mean, it is not a flattering
I was
picture
about
of
to
him.
say you talk. You know, they say if you give someone enough rope, they hang themselves.
Yes, yes. Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay, yeah, tell me what you thought.
You know what's funny is I had no idea about either of these documentaries coming, and apparently, like Netflix had hyped theirs for a while, and Hulu
Yes.
didn't tell anybody, and they just like dropped it
Yeah.
like the day before, which is like peak asshole. You gotta love it. But like Monday morning, I was following a thing on Twitter about some other social media influencer who was trying to who was setting up a tour and people were buying in for it, and it was shaping up to be a total scam thing. And so I was reading this, and I'm like, this reminds me of that. What was that, like a year ago? I don't know. And then like half an hour later, I'm on Hulu, and it's like, bing, fire fraud. And I'm like, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So really, it's just kind of funny to me that it's like we don't learn our lessons, you know?
Oh, yeah, this could easily happen again. And I think the Hulu one, I haven't seen the Netflix one yet, but the Hulu one sort of, I think that's sort of their take. Like, this is modern day con artistry.
Yes, exactly. And like you, I have not seen the Netflix version, but what made me interested more in watching the Hulu one is what I read about it, where it's taking more of a macro view of sort of how society has led to this type of thing happening because of influencer culture and things like that. So it was, I hadn't watched it, and in my media and society class, we're talking about the internet and influencer culture. So I was like, hey, why don't we check out this documentary? So I'm like literally watching it for the first time
funny.
with my kids. But it's very good. I highly recommend it. If you have Hulu, it's called Fire Fraud, Fyre. I think it's one of those things. I think, Brian, both you and I, we're like entering that grumpy grandpa phase where we look at this and we're like, well, that doesn't sound appealing. Even before I find out about the mustard and cheese sandwich, I'm like, none of that sounds appealing to me.
Well, see, I was just about to ask you, actually, because I think, the second I, heard about this thing, I'm the type of person to probably roll my eyes at it. Just
Right.
But what did the students think?
Well, I mean, that's the interesting thing. They're in it.
It's almost talking to them, right? Like
Yeah.
the way that they interact with the world and their phones and whatnot.
Yeah, it's. I mean, these kids are the primary targets of influencer culture.
Uh-huh.
And the point I'm making is like even the word influencer is like celebrity isn't even the right word anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because celebrity implies something worth celebrating,
Sure.
right? And it's like what is Kendall Jenner except a waste of skin, you know?
Aw. Well.
All right. I mean, to me, it's like that Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad, right? That sums it up.
Yeah, speaking of, there was some podcast I saw that was going to dissect that, and it was like an hour and a half long.
Oh my gosh, I almost want.
I don't know that I would have cared that much, but when it is going to go that in depth, I was a little curious. But there's people in suits and all sorts of people involved in making that thing happen. And I am a little curious what the story of that is.
I mean, it's weird, right? Because when we were kids, we would see like, I don't know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger is wearing this leather jacket, and you're like, man, that's a cool leather jacket. I want that.
Sure, yeah.
Right? And on some level, I can understand that.
Yes.
But when we're at a point now where it's like, oh, this person with 2 million followers on Instagram is wearing these type of pumps. I got to get that. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is saying is someone we already like for a talent or an accomplishment or a skill or something.
Yeah.
Whereas these people are just sort of faces of a lifestyle.
Yes.
Like they represent a lifestyle that's, for most people, never going to be attainable.
Yeah, and
Right.
so it feeds into the broader problem of social media being a vehicle for artifice.
Yes.
Right.
Right down to filters.
That's exactly right, you know? And
Right.
and so all of this to me I think what Fire Fraud the documentary really pinpoints in an effective way is that this is the trajectory we're on. This is the trajectory society is on. And that that sort of broader view of like this is just the symptom,
Right.
this type of thing. I think that's a very accurate reading. And like you said, like I think there are absolutely questionable ethics involved in paying money to this. I call him a doofus con man
Yes.
because he's not even good at it, and he's just an idiot. And he thinks he sounds smarter than he is.
Yeah. He's pretty fascinating. I mean, the way that he, I think something that I like Hulu, I think pointed out, or I might have read this actually as a commentary afterward, but they were saying, it looks like they're trying to make it look how easily duped young people can be. But he
Yes.
also duped a lot of older people into giving him millions and millions of dollars. So, I mean, there's something to him. And I was sort of fascinated because he is capable of being successful, but he just continues to be reckless.
Well, and it's just all artifice, right? We were just talking about. Like,
But that, yeah, I guess it is. It is. I think that's why I found him kind of interesting is given all of this money, like he could have done something.
he could have, yeah.
But like he continues to lie and to I don't know that he ever I wonder if he actually believed this was ever going to happen.
Right.
That's the thing I'm not actually sure of.
Yes.
I mean, the first thing, without getting too into it, because I think people should watch it, is, he promises they're going to be on this island. And then the land that he actually has available to him is this gravelly, nasty,
You're right.
sort of area. But then it's like he keeps posting pictures of other parts of the island they're not going to be going to. Right? So it's like, it's interesting he got all this money to throw some high-end concert. That could happen.
Yes.
But then it's like he can't help himself. And this is, it sounds like I'm excusing him. I am not at all. He couldn't do it. So he should have stopped. But then he keeps
Yes.
lying, and he keeps lying to all these people to get more money, and he committed wire fraud. That's why he's in jail right now. So it's
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you want the payout, you got to do the grind to get
yes,
there.
and he
right?
didn't want to do the grind.
He didn't want to do the grind, right? And what's interesting to me is that he is just one example like this. It's like I don't know if you're familiar with this Bay Area tech company that came into a lot of trouble just recently. Oh shoot, what's it called? It's like going to be a movie. It's like waiting to be an Aaron Sorkin movie. It's called Theranos. Have you heard about this?
No.
This is crazy. So this woman, Elizabeth Holmes, she was like 25 or something, she was very young, and she basically modeled herself after Steve Jobs. Okay. Right down to wearing like black turtlenecks and stuff. And so she basically sells Silicon Valley on this idea of a company that it basically can do your blood tests with like a single drop of blood, and they can find all this stuff out. And so she got all these VCs involved and all this, and it became a multi-billion-dollar company, and the whole thing was a scam.
Like knowingly?
Yeah. It couldn't be done. She knew it.
Wow.
And so she just like led people on. I mean, the Theranos headquarters is, it's here in the Bay Area. Like I've driven by it, and it's all empty now. It's closed up, and it's a crazy story. Google it, Theranos, Theranos, and this is a crazy, crazy story, and it's kind of the same thing though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what do they think is gonna happen?
Yes.
I mean, there's a part where McFarlane realizes he has no money for this thing, so then he starts charging. He tells people that they need wristbands, like no cash or credit or something allowed, so they need these wristbands. So everyone needs to pay in advance, and he suggests that everyone put $300 per day on these wristbands, which is a evil genius way to all of a sudden get an influx of money
Isn't that amazing?
to cover the last.
This is like
mess
Lex
he made.
Luthor shit.
Yeah, but then it's like then he creates another problem. But it's like, did he ever visualize the end?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just keeps finding new ways to scam his way to stay afloat. But
Just
then
stay
did
afloat.
he? And with this other young woman with the Theranos,
Yeah.
I mean, what did they think was going to happen?
That's here. I just pulled up her Wikipedia page. Look at this. In 2015, Forbes named Elizabeth Holmes as the youngest and wealthiest self-made female billionaire in America due to a $9 billion valuation of Theranos. That's 2015. Listen to this. By the next year, following revelations of potential fraud, Forbes revised her net worth to $0.
Oh man!
In 1 year, $9 billion to 0.
Wow.
So
This is fascinating.
look at this. It's going to be a movie, upcoming film of the same name, directed by. Let me ask you, who do you think would be a good director for a movie like this?
I'm not sure.
Well, it's going to be Adam McKay.
Oh, well, I knew there was going to be an obvious answer, but yes, that is absolutely yes.
And it's going to star Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Already. So the wheels are turning on.
Oh, it's happening. I mean, this was one of those things where I read about it a few years ago, maybe like 2016, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this movie.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one. It's going to be called Bad Blood. See, because blood and it's bad.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I got to say too, this is something to say about streaming. Is this is really the age of the documentary?
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's just so many of them.
So many good
being
documentaries.
good and being produced just because of these companies.
Yeah.
And their need for content. And yeah, it's great. I'm really enjoying them. So, and I am going to watch the Netflix one. A group of friends of mine are getting together tomorrow. We're all going to watch it. So.
Oh, that'll be.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, let's get together. Let's have a fire festival where you just watch both documentaries.
Yeah.
Well, we do have some listener letters, Brian.
All right.
So this is from Thomas Olson, who listened to our Home Alone commentary, which has generated, again, a lot more discussion than I would have anticipated.
Yeah. We were saying that about Prince of Thieves. Also, we were
I think we're finding sort of the secret here is to watch these kind of below the radar films that are still kind of beloved.
Right. Right.
But here's what Thomas says. He says, I enjoyed your Home Alone episode and your chat about the franchise in this episode, but I have to say I really love Home Alone 2. Okay. I have a feeling I'm going to be taking that on the chin again here. I know the first one is a better movie, and the second one basically is the same plot as the first, but as a kid, this was the one my family owned, and so we watched it all the time growing up. We would usually rent the first every Christmas season, but we were always rewatching number 2 throughout the year. So my nostalgia is strong for it, but it still cracks me up to this day. Anyway, I enjoy the show and forgive you, Zachy, for your hatred of Home Alone 2. I don't hate Home Alone 2. I just strongly dislike it.
Maybe like 2 years ago, a friend of mine wrote something on Facebook about Home Alone 2 being the best Home Alone, fight me kind of thing. And so we got into like a little bit of a discussion, and I was like, well, let me just explain why I think Home Alone 1 is better. And it was a similar story where that was the one I think he might have seen first.
Okay.
Or the one that he watched most. And so we ended it with, well, that makes obvious sense. And I said why I thought 1 was better, and he said why he thought 2 was better. And we're like, oh, hey, I'm glad we each have the one that we like. So I'm glad that Thomas has the one that he likes.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny. My kids right now are making their way through the second one, so they are watching it for the first time. And they're loving it. They're cracking up, and so they'll like it, and that's fine.
Yeah, for sure. I think well, for me, I've already said it, but the first one was one that really struck a chord with me when I saw it for the first time. And we owned the VHS, which we didn't own a ton of. We didn't buy a ton of movies, so that was one I was very much weaned on. And obviously, when you listen to that commentary, is something that means a lot to me. So, the second one didn't land the same way for me, even though I, of course, was amused by it when I saw it. So I think that's just it. Like, the one that connects with you is the one that sticks with you.
I think that's a good way to wrap up the great Home Alone 2 conversation. At long last. This is one from Jeff Jordan. And Jeff asks about, now that technology home viewing technology is continually being upgraded. Obviously, we talk a lot about Ultra HD and 4K, etc. He says, what Blu-ray movies have you upgraded to UHD or are eventually planning to do so once they become available to go down in price? What Blu-ray or DVD films in your collection are you content in staying put? And on that same token, for all your future home video purchases, be it film or television box sets, what criteria will ultimately factor in which releases you decide to purchase on UHD and which you will relegate to lesser formats? And I think this is really interesting because this is the question now because of digital and everything else. Like, are we at a place now where physical media has the same urgency behind it?
Right.
Because I know I've been to your place. You've got like 4 cabinets full of DVDs between you and your roommate.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of DVDs.
Yeah, well, those are, yes.
And that's an obsolete format.
I was going to say, those are mostly his. I do have quite a few, of course. And it's funny because recently I was doing a bit of spring cleaning and trying to decide what to do with them, and there's something, I have narrowed them down to sort of the ones that I want to hang on to, but it is an interesting question with the DVD because you're like, well, I probably would try to find this somewhere streaming to watch in HD were I to watch it again rather than pop in the DVD. And Blu-rays, I don't buy Blu-rays like I used to. And I know that's true for you, right?
Well, yes and no.
Oh, yeah? What? So, well, I was going to say, the Ultra HD whole thing, I still don't have a 4K TV, and I don't have a 4K player. Okay. So I don't think about that just yet.
Yeah, so with me, when it comes to physical media, I had started tapering off buying Blu-rays a while ago. Mm-hmm. Even now, I only buy Blu-rays if there's no way to buy something digitally, Mm-hmm. So like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, I don't know, trying to think of an example. Stuff that's just not available digitally, right?
Sure.
But even then, I don't know. I'm actually, as I'm talking to you, I'm like, what are my criteria for buying physical media?
Well, for me, it's I hadn't bought one in a very, very long time. Now it tends to be special features and commentaries.
Yes, which is less and less, by the way.
Just in general, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, the studios aren't forking over for that stuff now.
Oh, interesting.
Well, the other thing actually is that stuff. A lot of it is available in digital copies.
That's true. Yeah, and the last Blu-ray I bought was Mission Impossible Fallout. Okay. Just because I knew I was going to devour all that extra.
Yeah,
bonus.
see, like that's a good example. I pre-ordered the digital copy of that, and I was good with that, and I got the Ultra HD. Mm-hmm. Everything I buy digitally is Ultra HD. Everything I buy physically, if it's available, it'll be Ultra HD. But I buy less stuff on physical. I think the only recent stuff I've bought on physical media is like the MCU movies. Mm-hmm. Even Star Wars, I haven't been buying because I'm like, I think I've said this to you before. Like, I figure there will be like a trilogy box set.
Yes.
And that'll all be 4K, and I'll probably get that.
Yeah, and then going back to his first part where he says, "What do you plan to upgrade from Blu-ray to Ultra HD?" I think there's maybe like 10 titles that I just continue to rebuy.
Yes.
Like I had Indiana Jones on VHS. I had it on DVD. Now I have it on Blu-ray. I have the Star Wars, films, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. So Terminator 2, those sorts of things, like those. Seminal...
Yeah, so Brian. That's actually a good example because I got T2 in 4K physical, and the 4K version isn't great, to be honest. So I don't know that was a great investment. But E.T., I got that in 4K.
E.T., right?
And it's beautiful.
Wait. What do you say? It's not a great investment. How do you mean? Because you would think that would be a key title that you would double down.
I don't think the 4K upgrade did much for it, to be honest.
Did it overcompensate where it gets that waxy look, or you feel like you just actually can't see the difference?
It's not so much the waxy look. It's I feel like the contrast is a little off. I don't know. There's just something about it where I don't feel like I got like a big improvement. You know.
And I wonder, because it being an older film, we can get into this obviously when we talk about Glass, but Glass had some footage from Unbreakable in it.
Yes.
And it was noticeable when it was older footage.
Yeah, that's true.
And, just film processes, whatever. Like, movies just look different over time. And maybe just some movies are only going to look how they're going to look. And they're not going to look significantly different, no matter the format.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I got Jurassic Park in 4K, physical media, and ET, but other than that, I don't have that many 4K discs. I have a lot of Ultra HD digital movies, and I tend to. I mean, it's just that's the majority of my viewing, you know. But here's the other problem I'm having, and this is some bullshit right here. Is Comcast has? I'm calling you out, Comcast. They have like data limits for internet use.
Really?
Yeah. It's you can only use a terabyte of data.
Like a day?
No, for the month.
For the month, okay.
So
Well, that's
if
a
you're
lot, I
watching a 4K movie, you're just burning through your data,
Wow, that feels weird.
right?
Huh. So do you have to buy like a separate package to have
I mean,
more?
yeah, I'll have to like pay. It's like $50 more for unlimited data, but I'm like, what the hell? What is this?
Can we just get that Google fiber optic thing and all this?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So that's like I've started burning through my data caps, and I realize it coincides with me having more and more, Ultra HD movies.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
If I didn't want things
I don't know if my cable provider does it.
well, I guess you'll find out if you ever get your 4K TV, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the changing landscape of physical media is very interesting, and it's obviously it's nice to have certain things on disc, but now you get to ask yourself like, well, how many times in my life am I going to rewatch X? Do I want it taking up space on my shelf?
Yeah, and I mean, what do you think is next? I mean, where can we truly go from here? I mean, in terms of physical media, I can't even imagine.
I think we've hit the wall with physical. I don't like
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, 8K, that's the next thing.
Right, sure.
And I'm
sure.
like, the human eye can't process the difference at some point.
Yeah. If you already own some film on 4K, like, it's going to be very difficult convincing anyone they need to buy it again.
That's right.
Yeah, so I wonder. I mean, I guess it's going to come to streaming. But even with that, yeah, I mean, what are we going to... I wonder, 10, 20 years from now, how these studios are going to figure out how to get you to keep buying the same movies.
Buying the same stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's certain movies that, yeah, like you said, I mean, you go from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray to for every format you get it in, For me, that's Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd. That's the movie that I actually have owned that movie in except for 4K. I don't know why.
Does it exist in 4K?
I'll find out because
Yeah, I was going to say, we know what you have to do.
when it does, I may end up buying. I don't even like that movie. That's the
I've never
weird
seen it.
thing.
Yeah.
I've owned the VHS, the DVD, the Blu-ray, and the digital copy. Explain that to me, Brian.
I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't know. So I hope that answered your question, Jeff. Why don't we take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk some trailers and headlines. And we're back, and we do have some headlines this week. But before we do that, we also have a brand new trailer,
Yeah.
which is kind of a spoilery trailer.
Yes.
Like the
yeah,
existence of the trailer is a spoiler.
I didn't even realize. Well, we're talking about Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yes.
And it came out, and I watched it, and I went, "That's nice." And then I started seeing people online upset at Spider-Man trailer. I was like, "What now?" and I realized, yes, it's over this because it's, I guess, in the timeline we're currently in, a spoiler because Spider-Man has become Ash.
Yes,
As far as we know,
he's a bag of dirt.
yes.
Which, I mean, this is one of those tricky things because you understand why this trailer exists, and it's partially because this movie is not released by Disney; it's released by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even though it's part of the MCU, Sony's like, "Well, y'all do what you got to do, but we got to make some money."
Yeah, and this comes out this summer, and Avengers it doesn't come out till what, like April or something?
Yeah, end of
So
April.
they're not going to be like, hey, guess what? There's a Spider-Man movie in 2 months.
And, right?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it definitely makes sense. So this is Spider-Man: Far From Home. It is the sequel to Homecoming, and before we even play the trailer, I want to quote this tweet from at King Impulse. He says, "Following the naming convention of Spider-Man: Homecoming and Spider-Man: Far From Home, I hope the third one is Spider-Man: Home Alone." And it's just Peter on his own trying to protect the Avengers compound from the Sinister Six with complex web-based traps.
Well, clearly I'm on board.
I'm like, that is genius. And Macaulay Culkin needs to be one of the Sinister Six.
Right, right.
Right. So let's go ahead and play some of the audio from this and we can talk about it.
So nice to finally meet you, Spider-Man.
You're Nick Fury.
Put some clothes on. Let's go for a ride.
Is he gonna be okay like that?
Might want to turn him over so he doesn't swallow his tongue.
I think Nick Fury just hijacked our summer vacation.
Awesome! You got gifts, Parker, but we have a job to do. Are you going to step up or not?
You're all alone. Your friends are in trouble. What are you going to do about it?
All right. So we have talked previously about how this has been a good year for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2018 had been a good year.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're keeping the momentum going. I was thinking about this. I was like, this is like the first time in a while where we have a Spider-Man film that doesn't have to like apologize for the previous Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this one is coming on the heels of not just Homecoming doing really well, but also, oh, and by the way, Venom did really well. Oh, and by the way, Spider-Verse did really like. It's like, hey, it's more of the thing you love, and no apologies. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Well, I mean, you know me. I'm just a sucker for this stuff. I will say this: it's obviously it's great to see Tom Holland back, and you know I like him in the role. And the world that they set up in Homecoming is a fun one, and I like seeing that continue. But what was fun for me is that we see Jake Gyllenhaal in his costume, and my 5-year-old's like, "Oh, Mysterio."
Wow.
And I was like, "That's my boy right there." You know?
That's my boy.
You know,
Yeah.
and again, that's I've talked about this before. I'm especially appreciating now through the eyes of my own kids how much kids love Spider-Man.
Why do you think that is?
You know, I mean, because Spider-Man is a kid, I think that's part of it.
Ah, sure.
You know, and I think there is that element of wish fulfillment where, you know, we've talked about it before. Anybody can put on that mask and be Spider-Man. But also, even like his physique, he's not this big muscle-bound behemoth. He's kind of,
Right.
He's got an achievable sort of physicality.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, and you know, he's got a great rogues gallery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, again, it's like Mysterio is like one of these Spider-Man villains that certainly, as a kid, I was thinking, you know, I loved Mysterio when I was a kid because he's got a cool look with the big fishbowl and everything. And I was talking to my brother yesterday. I'm like, I love that we're far enough along in Spider-Man movies that now we're up to Mysterio.
Right.
Because there's just so many villains to pull from, you know, and you know, he looks like right out of the comics.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in. Of course, it's the same sort of thing. Like, I mean, I didn't even need a trailer. I love the last one, and I'm ready for some more Spider-Man. I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean, this is how we left it with the last film, but that you know, Aunt May is in on things now.
Yes.
Which is an interesting angle. Does that ever happen in the comics?
Well, apparently this is kind of interesting. There was a storyline. This is probably like 2000. I want to say like 2001 maybe, and it was written by J. Michael Straczynski, where Peter is in his he's gotten torn up, beat up, and he's like basically in his bed, just collapsed, beaten up, bruised, and he's like passed out basically, and he lives on his own. And then Aunt May hasn't heard from him in a while, and so she shows up at his apartment, and she lets herself in, and she finds him like in bed, completely busted up, unconscious, and she finds his suit.
Ah.
And so she finds out that he's Spider-Man. And normally in the comics, he'd be like, "Oh no, Aunt May, it's actually this is for a costume party, or whatever," and you'd kind of like hand wave it away. But instead, they went with it, and so they have a whole issue where it's just Peter Parker, and it was like an adult, he's like 25 or whatever, talking to Aunt May like an adult. And he's like, "This is why I started doing this," and they're just having it's like them sitting on a park bench. That's like the whole issue,
Right.
talking about why he started doing it, whatever. And so anyway, like 2007, they put out like a collected edition of that, and the introduction was written by Kevin Feige. And Kevin Feige was like, I read that comic, and I was like, that is one of the best stories I've ever read. And this is like, again, like 2007. He's like, and I've made it my mission one day to put that into a movie.
Wow. Well, here we go.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And so he got his wish, So I'm curious where, like, here's my question, because clearly we've got Infinity War in the middle, right? So there's a leap from Homecoming to Far From Home of however long, right? So we're gonna skip past, I'm assuming, the talk. So that's something that I'm curious how they would incorporate, because I mean that's what I'm interested in is how does she come to? She can't be like, "Oh, you're Spider-Man, cool, all right."
I was thinking the same thing, because even in the first one, Homecoming, I was thinking I was trying to understand. I mean, Tony Stark is against it, sorta, but he also is encouraging this kid to get thrown into like cataclysmic danger.
Right.
So I was wondering how they were going to convince me that Aunt May would think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like you said in the comic, with him being in his middle 20s, that
makes
is
a little more
different.
Sense. Yeah.
But what I obviously I trust them because they have earned my trust over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
But knowing that Feige really connected with this story, like this means a lot to him. It's not just a decision they made and we'll see what happens, but knowing there's something that he really likes about this angle, that makes me excited about it.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, I like you. I mean, I trust that they know what they're doing, but that the part I'm interested in is Aunt May's, like, how does she end up at a place where in this trailer she's like high five,
Yes.
But I'm down,
Yeah, me too.
I have no doubt that it'll be a fun experience.
Yep.
So that's our trailer for this week. We do have a couple headlines. There's actually quite a few headlines here that are all kind of piled one on top of the other. I guess to start things off, this is the big news that came out of nowhere, which is, a couple years ago there was that Ghostbusters reboot that didn't do anything, and I think you and I were both like, all right, well, that's that. I look forward to never again having to talk about Ghostbusters again. Mm-hmm. But wouldn't you know? There's a new movie coming next year.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I don't know where it's at in the timeline of production, but it's very impressive that this was completely under the radar until they wanted it to be revealed.
Yes.
And that they're making Ghostbusters 3, essentially. I mean, I don't know that's what they're going to call it, but they said this is a sequel to Ghostbusters 2.
Correct. So this is... So let's not bury the lead. Essentially, it's announced earlier this week that Jason Reitman, son of Ivan Reitman, who directed the previous two Ghostbusters movies, had come up with an idea, and he co-wrote it with a fella whose name I should know. I don't know in front of me.
Yeah.
But he basically pitched it to Sony in secret. I'm assuming that Sony gave, first of all, Jason Reitman has his own filmography that's notable. Mm-hmm. He's not some guy, but obviously,
Up in the Air. He's made some very good movies. Juno, yeah.
Right. So that's one part of it, and then obviously the fact that he's Ivan Reitman's son, that family connection. And he says, "I've got an idea for a sequel to the original Ghostbusters," and then we're off to the races. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to our listener Philip Barker, who was very excited about this, and I was like, you know what? I'll believe it when I see a trailer. And then, like the next day, it's like, here's a trailer. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see the next trailer.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this was really surprising, to say the least. I saw some article that was funny. It was like, Dan Aykroyd actually spilled this months ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
When
I'm pretty sure we talked about it, and we're like, here goes crazy Dan Aykroyd again.
I was just going to say, I mean, I don't know that he could, because he's always talking about it. I mean, yeah.
He was eventually going to be right.
Yes,
He
yes.
talks about it. It's like, we're working on another Ghostbusters. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's great, Dan.
As he takes a swig from a Skullhead vodka bottle.
Exactly.
So Jason Reitman co-wrote the script with Gil Keenan,
Okay.
and this is a film that is set in the same timeline as the original films. So those happened in the 80s, and now here we are in 2019, but those movies are part of the collective history of the Ghostbusters world. And from what we know, this is about 4 teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And the main characters are a 13-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it is Stranger Things meets It.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, hey man, I don't know. I like Stranger Things. I got an open mind about it, I guess. I mean, I think it's one of those things too where the last one, it was such a weird thing to have a sequel to Ghostbusters all these years later.
Yes.
And then it happened, and obviously, I mean,
And it was
completely
not a
skipping
sequel.
over. Yeah, well, it's not a sequel, but just skipping over the whole people's reactions and thoughts and blah, 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 blah. Now we know it's possible. So this feels less, crazy or out of the realm of possibility. So now I'm like, well, it's happened before. Like, let's see if this one's any good.
Well, and that's the thing. I have a couple thoughts on this. Number one, I'm like, it's Ghostbusters. I'll watch it. Nothing to me can supplant my love of those original 2 films.
Right.
So that's fine. And by the way, people should expect a Ghostbusters commentary track for us this year because it is an anniversary year for the original film.
Wow.
Kind of crazy. But I think that this would be what, the 35th anniversary? 35th.
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy. I have a couple thoughts. Number one, it bums me out that all the misogynist assholes of 3 years ago will feel like they got to win.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Right? That sucks. Like, we said you should do this, and now, we're right, and blah, blah, blah.
We were heard.
Yeah, girls suck or whatever. However, the problem is that to the extent that they were right about one thing, which is that Paul Feig's miscalculation with the 2016 movie was, and I've said this previously, was to say, oh, we need to ignore those other ones in order to make a Ghostbusters story worth telling.
Right.
And I fundamentally, I've said all along, if the 2016 movie existed within the world of the previous films, we wouldn't have even, most of the conversation would not have been happening the same way. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I there were things I enjoyed about it, but it's funny thinking about A Simple Favor. Again, I feel like it was the wrong director.
Ugh. I feel bad saying that because I like Paul Feig.
I was just gonna say. I mean, yeah. I like Spy and Bridesmaids. I think is truly one of the best comedies in the past, decade or whatever it was. Whoa, it's not even a decade anymore, right? Oh no, yeah. I think it's just barely. But yeah, I don't know. Like when he tries to do the thing, he won't let go of certain things. There's certain things I think he feels he always needs to do, and not all the movies require that.
Well, I for one thing, I think calling action, just pointing the camera at Melissa McCarthy, will only get you so far.
Agreed.
Right. And the 2016 Ghostbusters is like riffing to the extreme.
Yes. Agreed.
This is Brian. I tweeted this, and you can tell me what you think about this. This is about this when this news was announced, and people were talking about the 2016 version versus the original. I said what made the original Ghostbusters work is that it's about witty people in a realistic world dealing with fantastic situations.
Mm-hmm.
I like the remake, but where it falls down is that it's about comedy characters who know they're in a comedy movie dealing with comedy situations.
Yes. Right.
And I think that on some level, that's what people, didn't respond to.
Yeah. Agreed. So, but this, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we got nothing to go on really with this one so far, but I do like Jason Reitman. I mean, he's had hits and misses.
Yes.
But, color me intrigued.
I'm intrigued. I think if you spend like say $50 million on this thing, I think you make that money back.
Yeah.
Unless the
for
reviews
sure,
are
yeah.
just poison.
What's poison?
Unless the reviews are just toxic.
Oh, right. Sure.
If the reviews are okay, I think $50 million, even if you double that worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll do fine. I mean, it makes sense that they're going back to the well because this is Sony. They love their franchises.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, the Ghostbusters brand is a very powerful one. You can still go to Target and buy Ghostbusters shirts.
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah. So that's going on over there at Sony, and this is due out in 2020. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
We would have
It's not that
played
far away, right?
It's next
basically
year.
not this summer, but next.
Yeah, and we would have played some of the audio from the trailer, but it's just music. It's like nothing.
Yeah, in the car under a tarp, and the tarp revealing.
It shows us the original Ecto-1, and you hear the Elmer Bernstein music from the first movie. So obviously they're trying to be like, hey, memory hole for the Paul Feig version. Unfortunately, but this is interesting. Now your number one movie of last year was Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you're excited to know that Christopher McQuarrie has signed on for not just the next Mission Impossible, but the next two Mission Impossibles.
I know.
So Brian, dare I say, this mission just got a lot more impossibler.
Yeah, I mean, I think what is so great about these movies is they keep getting better and better, but they also have not felt like an assembly machine.
Yes.
Like, it feels like whenever McQuarrie and Tom Cruise land on a nugget of an idea, they're like, ooh. And so they take their time and they craft it and they figure it out. And then if you listen to these commentaries, I mean, making these movies, it's like movie making jazz, right? Like, they're just kind of riffing as they go, and they miraculously come up with these really great action movies.
Yeah.
So obviously I would like another one from this team, because this team truly makes, great stuff together. But it does make me a little nervous that this feels like, for the first time, like an assignment rather than a passion project.
Interesting. That's
So-
interesting. Actually, I didn't think about that.
Right? Like, I again, these guys seem to know what they're doing, and I hope that when they agreed to do this, they have an idea. I like that these recent movies have set up a more locked down mythology of this world and these characters and their relationships with each other. So I would hope that they have some sort of plan in place and a story that they do want to tell, as much as it's going to get rejiggered, obviously, along the way. But I think also it somewhat makes sense, because I imagine they're leading to a conclusion, and that is inevitable because Tom Cruise, I mean, at some point he's not going to be able to jump from building to building anymore, because he truly wants to do it by himself. So let's knock these things out while he's still capable.
I think the biggest reason they're doing them back to back.
Yeah, the expediency of it
Yeah.
makes sense.
I think
But,
that
yeah.
a couple thoughts. I think that it helps when you're going from success to success.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the wind at your back, right? So it is an assignment, but it's one where it's like, well, people like what we're doing, so of course we should do more,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think Christopher McQuarrie feels a particular kind of kinship with Tom Cruise.
It would seem. I mean, he's been a part, even behind the scenes. I mean, he helped rewrite the Top Gun script, and I don't know that he's going to be credited for that.
Yeah, well, Top Gun and Live, Die, Repeat, and
Right.
a bunch of stuff that he didn't direct even,
Yeah, but yeah, he seems like
So
kinship.
they've got a really good partnership. So I have to imagine that what was this, number 6? Yeah, number 6, right? They finished number 6, and obviously, I have to imagine that before the movie even comes out, you finish filming and you feel like, man, we hit the ball, like the bat hit the ball. We just know it, And so, with that in mind, it's probably one of those things where Christopher McQuarrie is like, well, he doesn't need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So if he signs up for 2, it's because he feels like there's a story worth telling.
Yeah.
That's my thought. And I think, what are they saying? It's going to be like 2021 and 2022, I think is what they're saying.
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy, right? Because by the time number 8 comes out, it'll have been how many years since the first one? The first one was what,
6, 7?
96. So 28 years? 26 years?
Wow.
Amazing. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That is crazy.
With the same guy. I mean, I think the question, and I asked this on Facebook, is there life for this series post Ethan Hunt?
Or does it get completely rebooted with a new personality?
Right? Like what do you do, right? Because at this point, I mean, granted, Mission Impossible existed before Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, Mission Impossible equals Tom Cruise.
Yeah, at this point.
That's just how it is. So, who do you find who could possibly replace Tom Cruise?
They may still not even be an actor yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like by that time.
When the fourth one came out, remember they were positioning Jeremy Renner to be like the new guy.
Yeah.
And no slight to Jeremy Renner, who I like, but that does seem kind of comical in hindsight.
Right, sure.
I mean, you know what I mean?
No. He's a solid, team player. You know what I mean? But he's
I can see them going to Jeremy Renner being like, all right, we need you to hang from this helicopter that's 300 feet in the air. And he just kind of looks up and be like, I'll be in my trailer. Like, no,
well, that's the thing too, is that's something this series is now known for, is these death-defying real life stunts.
Yeah, it's
and you
just
wonder
Tom
if even
Cruise
that will
hanging
carry over
from things.
Yes. Like really hanging from things. Yeah. So is that something that's going to be now a part of the fabric of this?
Is that what we expect now?
Brand, yeah.
I don't know. I'm down. I'm down to see it.
Yeah, no, me too.
But as one Paramount franchise continues, another runs into a wall. Unfortunately, although I got to say, I've seen the signs of this happening, so I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. Star Trek IV appears to be, if not dead, at least on the shelf.
Sure.
Where it will probably wither and die. And they had announced this a little while ago that there were 2 new Star Trek sequels coming, so 4 and 5. Number 4 was going to be directed by S.J. Clarkson, who would have been the first female director in all the movies. And that's the one where they were going to bring back Chris Hemsworth, and it was going to be Daddy Kirk and Kirk Jr. and having an adventure together, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they had that Quentin Tarantino thing that was kicking around.
Yeah.
And so essentially this ran into trouble last fall because the backstory here is that Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth signed their deals back in 2016, like before Star Trek Beyond came out. Paramount signed them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Star Trek Beyond comes out, doesn't do that well. It doesn't do as well as they would have hoped. It did okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it comes time to do the fourth one, and they're like, all right, we got to cut corner. We got to tighten our belts here. So Chris 1, Chris 2, we need you to take a pay cut. And those guys are like, no.
Yeah.
Pay us what you agreed to pay us. And so that never got resolved. And now the movie sits on its shelf.
Which is so weird to me because, when we talk about Ghostbusters and we're like, I don't know. But I mean, if you're Sony, like, of course, that's one of your franchises, and you gotta, that's going to make money for you, regardless of. Let's see how it's received. And I mean, for Paramount, Star Trek,
yes.
And not only Star Trek, but they found a new version of Star Trek that works for people. Like they found actors and a whole take on it that people have responded to, and regardless if the last one didn't work as well as they had hoped, I mean. I don't know, man. You start over?
Yeah.
That seems really risky.
Well,
to me.
Here's what I think is happening, Brian. There's a couple of things. I think that because of the fact that Star Trek is now a Paramount licensed property as opposed to a Paramount owned property, there's less incentive to throw a lot of money at it.
Sure.
Right? Because of the split, the corporate split where CBS has the rights and Paramount is basically licensing it from them. They're kind of like, well, how much money do we want to keep throwing at this? Especially because the last one didn't do that well.
Yeah.
The other thing is that it's one of these things where there is historically there's like a ceiling for how well Star Trek does.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek will never be Star Wars. Star Trek will never be, Guardians of the Galaxy even. So if you're looking at a franchise where you're going to top out at the most 400 million worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
if you're Paramount, you have to be thinking, well, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth spending $200 million to double that investment?
And then, I mean, apparently it isn't.
Right? Clearly not.
For them at this moment.
And by that same token, if you're Chris Pine, forget Hemsworth for a second. If you're Chris Pine, you don't need this.
Yeah, sure.
Like say what you want about the problems that these films have had or whatever. J.J. Abrams did something extraordinary where he cast these people so well that every single actor in the reboot films has gone on to have a pretty good career.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one's hurting, you know what I mean?
Right.
Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, but Chris Pine especially, like he's an in-demand actor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think he's wrong to be like, pay me what you agreed to pay me.
Yeah.
So it's this weird situation, and I'm telling you, I saw this coming. I was like, I don't think it's gonna happen. I know they're getting ahead of their skis a little bit, but
Yeah.
and it is a shame. I'm certainly not optimistic about a fourth one. I think it is a shame because, as you know, I love this cast and these roles. But I'm also like, we got 3 movies, and granted, I'm not a huge fan of the second one, but like 2.5 pretty solid movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that it ended with a certain amount of closure. And if that's all that we see of them, then what do you do? So be it.
So then, what would you like? Would you like to see like a reboot with like a smaller budget? And
I don't know. I don't.
or are
know
you
the
okay
way-
with no Star Trek films for a while?
If that's where it's at, then that's where it's at. The way I see it, we have 13 Star Trek movies.
Mm-hmm.
So if we never get another one, well, I got 13.
No.
The other thing, on the TV side, they're just cranking it out, right?
Yeah. I
'Cause
was going to ask you about that.
They have, obviously Star Trek Discovery just came back, and then that's in the second season. And then we got the Captain Picard show.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you think about it, this is actually kind of interesting, tying in with what we were talking about with Ghostbusters. What we're seeing, to some extent, is people embracing restarts and gradually rejecting reboots.
Right? Yeah.
Like this Ghostbusters is saying, no, we're picking up from where, the second one left off.
Yeah.
We're ignoring the reboot. And then even though the J.J. Abrams, this is the other thing actually. I was thinking about this. J.J. Abrams, the fact that he's leaving Paramount.
Ah.
I think that's also factors into there's not a lot of drive behind, getting this new movie going.
Right. I forgot about that.
But the J.J. Abrams films, even though they exist in the same continuity, are technically a reboot.
Right.
Meanwhile, we've got this Captain Picard series that's, we're picking up 20 years later, and I'm assuming that's going to do well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of interesting how the zeitgeist has moved in that direction.
That is, and a bit surprising, actually.
Well, it isn't, right? Because I think nostalgia is a hell of a thing.
Or I guess, well, yeah, I guess, no, you're right. That's the thing, right? The thing that we love is the thing that we're getting to watch again. So
Yeah.
I guess it's just surprising that it's happening. That you're getting.
I think that the Kelvin timeline movies, what they did so smartly was to reboot while being a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
To say everything that happened still counts. We're not starting over, so we're not asking you to throw away all of those pleasant memories you have.
Right.
And this is the problem, like with Ghostbusters, right? Where Paul Feig, his whole thing, like, we want to see them invent the equipment, and we want to see the first time people meet a ghost. And it's like, yeah, but we already saw that.
Right.
We already got the best version of that,
Yeah.
And like you look at something like Jurassic World, right? For as well as it did, would Jurassic World, the first one, have been as well received if it was saying none of the other stuff happened?
No, that'd be so annoying.
Right?
Having to be reintroduced to the park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So I think the message here is embrace this shared cultural history. because it's not just a history in the films; it's history in the real world. So why not lean on that?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's cool that these people are willing to come back.
That too. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I know. Speaking of Star Trek on TV, they're also doing a series centered on the Michelle Yeoh character.
Okay, so they're going to have 3 series?
They're going to have 3 series that are. I think the goal is to not have any 2 on air at the same time.
Okay, so while one's in production, one's airing.
Exactly.
What
So
the-
basically, they would want to have Star Trek on air year round,
Mhm.
or not on air, on net streaming,
Sure.
but situated so that each series is released in the hiatuses of each of the different series.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I just watched the season premiere of Star Trek Discovery, and they introduced Anson Mount as Captain Pike, who is played by Bruce Greenwood in the original films, and they have a new actor playing Mr. Spock, and oh my gosh, I'm like, you know what I want? I want a series set on the Enterprise, 10 years before Kirk, and it's Captain Pike and it's young Spock. Because they've never done that. When you think about it, they have never done that as a series. I think it would be great. And Anson Mount is terrific.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, really good. So as a Star Trek fan, I'm disappointed that we'll never get we probably won't get a 4th movie, but I'm not too disappointed because it's a great time to be a fan because there's so much stuff coming,
Well, that's perfect. Because, I mean, I don't follow this stuff as closely. So for me, hearing that the movie isn't going to happen, I'm like, the end of Star Trek? But it's obviously that it's just...
It will continue to
further.
boldly go, Brian.
Yeah, that's great.
But there is another Paramount franchise that's coming back. What's this one?
See, it's funny. This is why I was laughing when you started doing the build up to the Paramount thing, because I thought you were going to talk about this, but then I was like giggling, and then you're like, Star Trek 4 is dead, and I'm like, oh, that was the inappropriate response. I thought you were talking about this, the fact that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films are going to be rebooted. And you know what, I'm all for it because I think you should get some fresh blood in there, get like a whole new take. And like we gave these people a shot. Let's let someone else take over the wheel here, right?
I can't disagree.
Okay. Oh, except that this reboot is going to be by the exact same people who just did the last series.
Can you even call it a series when it's just 2 movies?
2 movies, yes. These two outings, I guess.
Yeah.
Andrew Form and Brad Fuller, they're from Platinum Dunes, and they produced the last 2 Ninja Turtles movies.
So Michael Bay is involved in
From Michael Bay, I guess, as producer, right? And those were weird movies, right? Because the first one felt Michael Bay-ish.
Yes.
And these
that was
turtles
directed
were
by-
very
by- that
unpleasing
was,
to the eye. What?
Who directed the first one? It was Jonathan Liebsman, I think, right?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Um,
Michael Bay.
But it's funny. I think you would probably say Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles just for shorthand. But,
Right.
These
He
characters
didn't
are
direct
very-
either. And so the first one was Jonathan Liebsman. I truly don't know who did the second one, but
Okay. Yeah, they were not pleasant to look at. They had.
I
they were
like the
sort of
second one, though.
They were
Brian.
halfway there. I feel like. Yeah.
I like the second one.
No. Well, yeah. Well, I was going to get to that because then the second one, I think you and I both felt that it seemed to be in the same spirit as the animated series we grew up with, and we're like, oh, they're kind of getting this thing into something that we like and we're comfortable with, and then to hear that they're rebooting it is like, well,
Right.
just like you're course correcting. That's great. So just continue to course correct. But it's interesting that it's the same people saying. It's almost like that kid you were friends with when you were playing like a video game, and they would just keep hitting reset when they screwed up, and you're like, dude, just keep going.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I wonder, who knows what they're going to do? I mean, are they going to try to? Does that mean they're going to undo the sort of tone that they established in the last film that we both kind of liked? Are they going to go? I imagine it has to do with just completely redesigning the look because they are figuring that people just didn't like the vibe, like the tone or the look of it. So they're like, well, let's just start over.
Well, you'd think that, but I mean, there is a new animated series on right now, which is, it has traditional animation. It's not the CG animated show that just ended. And the turtles are just horrific looking.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if you've seen the designs. I mean, it's just like a Cartoon Network nightmare kind of thing,
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
I don't know how that show is doing, but it isn't. It's certainly not like, oh, back to formula and let's make the turtles look like they have looked traditionally. They look very similar to these Michael Bay movie ones.
Yeah. Well, that's I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. But fortunately, we have this quote that I think that can give us some comfort from one of the producers. Fuller said, "The thing about the turtles, it's the same thing about A Quiet Place." So let's
Well,
let's
go
not
on.
even finish. Let's not even finish the quote. That's all we. That's not just that quote feels like the most executive thing an executive ever executed.
Yeah, it sounds like Lindsay Nagel from The Simpsons would say that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. See, the thing about the thing we're trying to sell you. Well, think of the last popular movie that came out that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
See, the turtles are a lot like Get Out, Like,
Yes. That's exactly. Yeah.
So here's what I think is going on.
Yes.
The Turtles is, again, unlike Star Trek, Turtles is wholly owned by Viacom. It's valuable IP. It's a merchandising juggernaut. So they got to get product out. So that makes sense. And I would assume Platinum Dunes is involved because they probably the contract that they signed gives them sort of like rights in perpetuity to it.
Right.
That's what I'm guessing, right? So now it's a question of like, do we just let it wither on the vine, or do we get something else out there? But the question is like, how many different ways can you reboot this, right?
And when you do that, I mean, are we gonna? Is this an origin again?
Ugh.
Like I don't know.
If I were to guess, I'd say no. It won't be another origin. I think it'll just be another adventure of the Turtles, and they look slightly different. That's my guess.
Yeah, and I imagine a new April and.
Yeah. I mean, in the current animated series, April is like she's like a kid and she's African American.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they'll go in that direction. But I don't know if you've seen this new show. It's called Rise of the TMNT,
I haven't.
and it's just ghastly. The designs are just horrifying, and it's not funny. And then my second, he's turning 2. He's turning 10.
Uh-huh.
He's like, that one is my favorite.
Oh, really?
And he's been sleeping in the garage ever since because I don't want that shit in my house.
I'm looking at them now. Yeah, it feels akin to the movies where they're a little more beastly looking.
Yeah, it's just to the extreme.
Huh.
That's what it looks
Yeah.
like.
Well, I don't know. Hey, man, like Ninja Turtles is from my youth. This is one of those things I'm always gonna check out just out of a curiosity factor. And
Brian, one thing I'll say about Ninja Turtles that I think is so interesting. Could you have imagined back in 1988
yeah,
that 30 years later, we would it's not even like it went away. It has never gone away.
it's kind of amazing. And
Right?
that's the thing too, is it doesn't like affect me. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily care.
No,
But at the same time, I am always endeared to them.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, all right. Well, we'll see. I mean, it seems like kind of a. It feels like silly Hollywood, but I'm like, well, whatever. Then it'll come out, and I'll. probably check
there's
it out.
there's certain toy lines, right? Like He-Man went away, and occasionally they've tried to bring it back, but it's basically like a dead toy line, right? And GI Joe kind of comes and goes, but then you've got like Transformers, which is just it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Ninja Turtles. And there was maybe like 4 years or 5 years where Turtles went away. But basically from 88 to now, they have always, like you can always walk into Target and always find Ninja Turtles toys.
You know what's interesting about that? I think it's funny that there's sort of a rule of thumb, like when you're really pursuing something, if you're doing it out of like cynicism, like it's never going to work, be the best version of itself because you're not coming at it from a place like of love or whatever.
Sure.
And I think it's interesting that the Turtles started as a lark,
I know. It's
like
true.
as a satire of 80s comics, and the fact that, 30 years later, here we are and they're still beloved. I mean, there was something there even in their slight cynicism, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a really good documentary about the making of Ninja Turtles, and I don't remember the name, but I think it's called Turtle Power. Actually, that's what it's called. And it's really it's fascinating. I mean, like you said, it's just these two kids who had this stupid idea. They like paid to print up this comic, and there's like, you know, a couple hundred copies of it or whatever. And then it just takes over the world. It's amazing.
And I mean, now that I say that, I mean, I think cynicism is probably the wrong word to apply to it. But it's like it was definitely a response to a thing in the moment. Like they were responding to something.
It was like a parody / pastiche of the comic book zeitgeist in that moment. Mm-hmm. And then wouldn't you know, And
it lived on. You know what it is? It's because it's the characters. Like when I think of them right now, and I think of Michelangelo, I'm like, I love that guy. And like Leonardo, it's like, I'd follow him anywhere. Like Donatello, right. He could teach me so much. Like so it's, I mean, geez, you come up with these characters that just, they're so, the characters aren't characters of the moment. Those are characters that could exist in any time, and you can relate to them in different ways. So it's.
Well, and I think the lesson here also is like, you can look at the Turtles and be like, whatever, how can you tell them apart other than the colors of their bandanas? But like, ask any kid to describe Donatello, and they'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's what's so fascinating. Versus like, I don't know, ask them to describe Qui-Gon Jinn. They might have some trouble.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Right? But like any turtle, tell me who Raphael is. Oh, he's like this, he's like this, he's like... They'll tell you 5 things about him. Mm-hmm. And the red color will be like the last.
Yeah. And the fact that we enjoy watching those guys bounce off of each other, because they are brothers, and as different as they are, we love watching them together.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're kind of making me excited for this new Ninja Turtles movie.
You know what? I will always be hoping for the best version of whatever we get. So that's one thing I will say. And one thing I'm also looking forward to is next year when we do our 30th anniversary commentary track for the 1990 movie.
Dude, I stand by that movie.
Oh, no, it's great.
I think it's still pretty solid.
I just rewatched it a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this it's just a good movie. I mean, yeah. Like obviously nostalgia factors in, but all the pieces are there. I mean, it's a well-made movie of this type. I mean, it's not the Magnificent Ambersons.
Yeah.
But it's good,
Yeah.
Anywho, why don't we take a little break and we'll come back and we will have a spoilerific conversation about this weekend's latest release.
Sounds good.
All right. And we are back, and M. Night Shyamalan is back, Brian.
Yes.
And Bruce Willis is back. And Samuel L. Jackson is back.
I know. Who knew this was coming?
This is the sequel, the 19 years later sequel to Unbreakable. The 2 years later sequel to Split is in theaters this weekend. It is Glass. And we actually, Brian, this is exciting. I have audio of when M. Night Shyamalan called up Bruce Willis to offer him the chance to reprise his role from Unbreakable in the movie Glass. We can actually play that right now.
Oh, yeah.
Glass? Who gives a shit about Glass? Who the fuck is this?
And so that's how Bruce Willis felt about making this movie. And I don't know, I kind of got that sense watching this movie, to be honest. Yeah. You know what's interesting, actually, before we even talk about the movie, I've been over the past week just watching the various actors making the promo rounds for the film. Uh-huh. Right? So you see, obviously James McAvoy has been everywhere. Sam Jackson, even Sarah Paulson is around. M. Night Shyamalan. You know who is nowhere to be seen?
Who?
Bruce Willis. It is noticeable that he is completely absent from all of the promo for this movie.
I mean, well, we saw how well that went on Red 2 or whatever that was.
Right, exactly. I think it has less to do necessarily with how he felt about making the movie. I just think people are like, oh, do we need that shit in our life?
Yeah, or maybe that's what he feels too. And I wonder if at some point he's like, nah, I'm not going to do press.
When did Bruce Willis just sort of stop caring about everything?
I don't know.
I feel like Bruce Willis needs to have that moment where he meets the younger version of himself, like the kid, Disney's The Kid or whatever, and they have like a moment.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah, I think that he needs an intervention by Kid Bruce.
Yeah, he gets bonked on the head, and then they have like the sort of face to face, And then they both in unison go, "My hair!" You know, like.
I want to watch that movie.
I really want to watch that movie. Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. So this is Glass, and it is doing pretty well over the weekend. Although it's coming in under expectations, so that's kind of interesting.
Well, I had read like 70 at one point, and then I saw 65. What were expectations, and what is it at now? Do you know?
Well, other studios were saying between 60 and 70 million. It's looking at 42.8
Ooh.
for the 3-day and 50.3 for the 4-day. So, I mean, just to be clear, this movie cost like $1.50 to make.
Yeah, I think it was 20, and Shyamalan paid for it himself.
Yeah, and so good for him.
Yeah, well, he's done that with the last 3 movies. He did that with The Visit, Split, and this, and that was sort of his way of lighting a fire under his butt, and also, I think, getting people to, you know, let him do what he wanted to do. Right, and
yes.
he had something on the line.
So I think 20 million is like what you want to spend on a movie like this, and to that extent, it'll do well.
Yes.
As far as coming in below projections, I don't know if that has to do with word of mouth or reviews, but this is weird. Okay, so I'll give my sort of non-spoiler reaction. I just rewatched Unbreakable 2 nights ago.
Okay,
and Unbreakable, Unbreakable is one of those, I've always liked it. That's always been my favorite Shyamalan movie. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I remember back in 2000 when it came out, because I was in film school at the time, and I'm like, I had this idea in my head. I'm like, I want to do like a realistic superhero movie where it's like a superhero movie, but it's playing it totally straight. And then this movie comes out, and you know, the weekend I go into school like Monday, and kids in my class are like, Zach, did you see Unbreakable? They made your movie. I'm like, shut up. Right. But that's why I liked it, because it was like that's the type of movie I would have wanted to make, and so I've always liked it. And and I rewatched it, you know, for the first time in like 16, 17 years, and it holds up really well. I think it's really good. Mm-hmm. It's not a movie that really demands a sequel. And I remember back then, Shyamalan was like, "Oh, I have 3 stories planned out." And even back then, I was like, "I think you kind of told your story." Mm-hmm. Like, I don't need to see more of David Dunn versus Mr. Glass, you know?
Yeah, or like Villain of the Week or something.
Yeah, I was like, what else can you do, right? And then it's been kind of weird to see how basically Unbreakable had the misfortune of coming right after The Sixth Sense and right before the superhero boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember it being a surprise that it was a superhero movie. Like, you didn't know that till you saw it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if it had come out like 10 years later, it would have been, oh, here's M. Night Shyamalan doing like a superhero movie. He's doing a riff on superhero, and people would have got it.
Yeah,
But
and you wouldn't have needed the characters explaining at length, ad nauseum, how a comic book works.
Yes, and explaining in a way that feels very very Shyamalan-y, you know?
Yes.
Like, oh, we're telling stories from the... It's like, no, dude, it's just guys in costumes. Like, come on, you know? Like,
Yeah. Or maybe I'm picking on Glass a little bit more than I'm picking on Unbreakable.
well, it's a little of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is. But I think to the extent that he does it in Unbreakable, I think it works within that story.
Yes, particularly with the Mr. Glass character. Like, he is excited about what's the parallels.
Yes,
So
and
that's why he's calling them all
the thing
out.
is, he's nuts.
Yeah.
Right, that's the film culminate. Here's what I liked about it, especially this. I'm like, the movie doesn't culminate in Bruce Willis is like, you're the villain, and they have like a big fight or whatever. No, it's like Bruce Willis is like, you're the villain. Well, shit, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, right.
And then the cops take him away, and that's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I loved that. I love that dichotomy where you have superhero reality bump up against reality. Mm-hmm. Right, and so Unbreakable ends, and I'm like, okay, you've told the story. And then I watch Glass, and I'm like, yeah, they had already told the story. Like, they'd already told the story that was worth telling.
Yeah.
That's my reaction. But, well, first of all, I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. But the frustration I had with Glass is for, like, the first half, I was, like, totally on board.
Yep.
And then as we start, I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, this movie is going to be ending very soon. And the further along we get, the more the probability of him Shyamalaning it up increases. And then, wouldn't you know it, he Shyamalaned it up. And I guess we'll talk about it more on the other side of the spoiler wall. But my reaction is that I didn't hate it. I did not hate it, but I found it just kind of vacant. You know, it just didn't do much of anything for me.
I think I entirely agree with you.
Okay.
So yeah, very briefly, I love Unbreakable. I think it might be my favorite of his. Also, I saw most of it on cable not too long ago, kind of by accident, and just watched the whole rest of the thing. And I was like, I think I like this movie even more than I did when I first saw it. Like, yeah. I mean, I think it holds up.
It does, yeah.
And it's a really, like you said, like it felt complete. And so, but that said, I mean, I love the visuals of that movie. I love the score. I love the idea of it.
So I love the theme.
Yes. So I mean, when Split ended and that score kicked in, I immediately knew what it was.
Yeah,
because I know it so well, and I got really excited. And so, yeah, I'm kind of in a weird. I'm not even entirely sure what I feel about this movie, because there's part of me that likes revisiting the thing I like. Like, I like seeing Mr. Glass. Like, yes. And I like seeing Bruce Willis in that, rain slicker and all that. So yeah. There's part of me that is tickled by this. But on the other hand, I think that's the perfect word, is vacant. I think this movie suffers from the same thing I think Split suffered from. Split came out pretty close to 10 Cloverfield Lane. And they were both about a woman trapped in a situation trying to get out. And I think what 10 Cloverfield Lane did better was there were levels for her to accomplish.
Yes.
Leading to the ultimate goal. And I felt like in Split, it felt like one long act leading to a climax. Like, all we were doing was building toward the end.
Yes.
And you weren't giving me interesting levels.
It was exhausting.
The way. Yes. And I feel like this one had the same sort of thing where, I mean, this is in the trailer. Like, these three guys are in this mental institution and they're trying to convince them that they aren't superheroes. And that thing goes on for a very, very long time until we realize what wants to be put into play. And then that's the end. And then it's over.
Yes.
And I just realized, I was like, oh, he's writing the same kind of structure again. And it's, if that, 3/4 of a movie long tease was interesting enough, that'd be one thing. But unfortunately, I mean, there's a really, really long interrogation scene with Sarah Paulson's character and these guys. And the problem with it is we know she's wrong.
Yes, right, exactly.
So, I mean, how long can we listen to her try to convince them that they can't do the things we watched an entire movie of them doing?
Because there's a scene where, like, Spencer Treat Clark as David Dunn's son is like, she's got it in his head, like, oh, he's just making it up, whatever, and he's like looking at a dude like lifting weights, and he's like, it's meant to be like, oh yeah, maybe other people can lift that same amount of weights, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, we've seen this guy, we've seen it.
Yes. We've
seen him do stuff no human can do.
Yes. Yeah, and that's funny because as you say that whole scene from the first movie when him and his son are like testing it and they keep adding more and more weight, it's such a better movie. Like, we don't get any moments like that. We don't get any fun. We just get these characters locked up for the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
And then a climax that we'll get to. But but that's not to say I didn't. There's still, it was like, if you like the first one, I think it is worth revisiting to see what he wanted to do next, but just know it's not going to be the sequel you wanted. Does that make sense?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Like, I think I don't regret spending time with these characters again, but I am disappointed that they weren't used in a better way.
I think you just summed it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost feel like, you have this character with James McAvoy called the Beast, and there's all these different characters and with different
by the way,
motivations.
Brian, McAvoy is amazing in this movie.
My friend that I saw this with said he feels bad because he deserved a better movie.
Yes.
I mean, he is going for it and he is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was just going to say, but I feel like this movie is almost like that character where it's like Shyamalan's different impulses and characteristics, good and bad, fighting within themselves.
That's so perfect. Yeah, I said this on Twitter. I'm like, what you see in this film is all the stuff that makes Shyamalan a brilliant storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the stuff that like where he just can't get out of his own way.
Yes. Yeah, and there's a scene too. I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's a flashback that's a deleted scene from Unbreakable where you see Mr. Glass as a child at a carnival.
Yes.
And it is masterful.
Yes.
Like the execution of it, the camera, the editing, the music.
The
I
tension,
was like,
the building tension.
The tension, and then when the bottom drops out, I was like, I know Shyamalan is brilliant.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I just don't know what he needs to stay there. It made me long for that movie.
Yeah. Oh man, I
So,
want to talk
yeah.
some spoilers with you. Can we just?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, you know, the thought I had, the movie starts, right? And we jump in with Bruce Willis 20 years later, David Dunn, and he's, what do they call him?
The overseer.
The overseer, right? And we got Spencer Treat Clark is like, you know, the man in the chair.
He's like his Alfred. Yeah, the man in the chair, yeah.
Right? And I was like, this is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's cool to me that, and you have a sense that Robin Wright has probably passed away in between movies, and that's fine. But like we've carried the character forward, and it's like because the whole Unbreakable is like David Dunn has had this emptiness in his life until he embraces what he's supposed to be, and he's been doing that now for 20 years, and he's like, it's that was cool to me, right?
Yeah, I completely agree.
I also thought it was cool, by the way, that we have the M. Night Shyamalan cameo.
Yes.
And I was like, I wonder if he's playing the same guy from the other one. And then he is.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know. My friend hated that. There's part of me that sort of chuckled.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was amusing, you know?
It is gratuitous, but it is amusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like the first half hour is like, man, this is cool. We got an Unbreakable sequel.
Yes, and in particular, I just want to call it, there's a moment where he's searching for this, you know, the beast, right?
Yes.
And he's walking and he thinks he has an idea of where he may be. And I love the idea when it shows him using his power. He sees these construction workers coming down the sidewalk, so he just walks in between them and, you know, touches them and tries to see, no. And then he goes up ahead, but he knows police are on alert for him.
Yeah.
And you got this really patient, great camera work that Shyamalan does where he walks up and he sees a huge crowd of people. And he's like, great, this is like a gold mine for me. But then the camera pans over and you see these police officers.
Yeah.
And so then it comes, you know, pans back to the crowd and you're like, oh, but he really wants the crowd. But he's got to keep moving. So the camera pans left and he walks the other way. And I was like, this is the movie I want.
Yeah.
I want more of this.
Yeah. So then it's essentially, I want to say from like the half hour mark, we're basically in the sanitarium, right?
Yeah.
And so then it's just like a locked door mystery because we're like, oh, and who's getting here and how's he doing this, and you know, and it's just you're like, okay, this is why this movie cost $20 million because it's just three people in rooms,
One location, yeah.
you know, and it's weird because I don't know, it's like as we build up to the climax, it's just one of those things where I'm in my head, I'm like, well. The red herring is that Mr. Glass, who's been like catatonic basically, or pretending to be catatonic for however long, he's got it in his head like, no, we need to show the world who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, we're going to do this thing at the big building. And that's all just, again, it's red herring, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not understanding why we're building towards this thing. Like why the buildup is supposed to matter.
Which build-up? Like the mano y mano thing he promises?
Not even so much that, but this idea of like we have to show the world who we are. Because the movie essentially pays that off in a way. Like at the very end, it's supposed to be like, oh, like it's supposed to be this big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't mean anything to me.
Like why? Yeah, because I mean, Glass mentions that he's like their proud papa. You know, I mean, those are my words, but like, I created you, and I created you also in a way.
Yes.
So you think they could have run with that a little bit more, and then he could leverage that or something to the world, but he doesn't seem interested in that.
No, like this is the thing, because the movie culminates in, Mr. Glass dies.
Yeah.
Well, everybody dies. Shit.
Everybody dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty bold move.
So that's actually, before we even talk about Mr. Glass, I hated what they did with Bruce Willis in this.
I did too.
Yeah, that angered me
Yeah,
because it seemed so completely pointless.
I agree. And even the reveal that she gives him when she touches his hand,
Yeah.
it wouldn't even make entire sense to him.
Yes,
I was so
right.
confused at that point.
That's exactly right. Yeah, because that Clover organization or whatever it is.
Yeah, oh man. So
Like
yes.
I
and
was
think,
thinking it'd be one thing if Bruce Willis lives to fight another day.
yes.
That would reinforce the message of the movie. But I'm like, what is your message here?
Agreed.
Right.
And also, I mean, again, as this being a sequel to Unbreakable, I want to see more to this Bruce Willis character and what all these years has done to him, what he's doing now, whatnot. But I felt like this was more of a sequel to Split than it was to Unbreakable.
And McAvoy gets top billing.
Oh, did he really? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, he can make the movie he wants, but yeah, I was really upset when he died. I didn't feel like it meant anything.
No. Right. It was meaningless and kind of cruel, you know?
Yeah, right in front of his son. It was, yeah.
I had a very visceral reaction, and I think part of it is because it like flies in the face of what Unbreakable is all about,
Yeah.
which is like, it's about this man finding his purpose. And you say, oh well, shit, like he's gonna die because some dude is gonna stick his head in a puddle.
And a faceless dude. Like if he had died in the name of something,
Yes,
that'd be
dying
one
heroically,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
So it was very. I don't know. I had a visceral negative reaction to that. But then the movie, like, I'm not sure what the movie's trying to make us think about Elijah, aka Mr. Glass, right? Because his death scene is played as this like dramatic moment, but I'm like, he's a bad guy.
Yes.
He
yeah,
killed
he is a
hundreds
mass
of people.
murderer.
Yeah. Right. So to me, the fact that movie one ends and he's a crackpot, that's like where he's supposed to be. So that means that's where all of his theories and stuff go. It's like nonsense.
Yeah.
But the fact he's like, this has been my origin story or whatever the hell he says, and I'm like, no, but he's the villain. He's objectively bad. Like, it's not even from a certain perspective.
Yeah, and then yes, you're right, because then Willis's son and then that girl from Split, which we'll get into in a little bit. And Elijah's mom, like they're furthering Elijah's plan.
Right.
At the end. Yeah.
Right.
It's weird. So yeah, there was a moment when they said, he's like, this is an origin story. And I'm just thinking this right now. And I don't know if this would have been satisfying or not, but I would have loved for Sarah Paulson to have realized something about herself.
Sure.
After, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't entirely understand what that organization was. I didn't hate it so much.
Well, it felt like Shyamalan needed a twist.
Yes.
And that's what I mean about he can't get out of his own way.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're basically a superhero, supervillain extinction unit.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And just to be clear, like, I didn't go into this wanting like a traditional superhero movie. I'm like, I'm not like, where was the big throwdown or whatever. No, it's not that.
Same.
I'm just like, do something that feels of a piece with Unbreakable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be fine with it. I think the problem to me here is that he wanted the scope to be bigger in terms of what he's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's really figured out what he wants to say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that he wants everyone to find the extraordinary thing inside of them that they
All right.
have not found yet. But it's just confusing the way that it...
This is the problem, okay?
Yeah.
Like, people are going to watch this shit on YouTube, and be like, oh, well, geez, I can climb a wall and I can bend metal bars.
It's going to lead to a lot of accidents.
Right? And beyond that, the idea that people are going to look at this stuff and be like, oh my God, as opposed to, oh, well, somebody did that on their, like they used the special effects app on their phone.
I literally had that thought. I thought this was something that would have been a little more plausible like 15 years ago. Like
Right.
now, we don't believe anything we see online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't
Actually, that would have been a good ending. No one cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah, so that's, to me, it's just my reaction to the movie is like, well, I definitely didn't, I didn't hate the movie. I really did strongly dislike what they did to the David Dunn character, but I just, it didn't really justify its existence, you know?
No, I don't think so either, and that's what bums me out. But like I said, I mean, I love the idea of Dunn in a room with all these hoses pointed at him.
Yes.
That's a great idea. And like a lot of the action is really, really good. I mean, it's why I like Shyamalan as a director is, when Elijah, the Beast, is like, I'm going to take out these guards. I think it's a good idea if you start wheeling, down this hallway.
Right.
And so you stay on Elijah and he's out of focus beating up all these guys. Like, he shoots things so interestingly.
Yes, I agree.
I just wish it had been a better movie.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that really works. I mean, again, we talk about McAvoy. I mean, there's stuff where, like, in one shot,
Yes.
Shyamalan is doing stuff where he kind of, pans over to here, and then he comes back, and it's a different personality. Pans over again, different personality, and McAvoy's just doing it. Mm-hmm. And he's fun to watch. But I mean, we talked about Anya Taylor-Joy as the character from Split,
Yes.
who returns here. I couldn't figure out her relationship with him.
I have no idea why she would go in that place.
Yes.
You could get me there, but I feel like they just expected me to go with it. Like, I almost feel like she should have been brought there reluctantly.
It felt weird, like Stockholm Syndrome-y kind of,
Yeah. No, you're right. I don't know. It was just, there's something weird about it. And I went with it, but it just felt unfinished.
Well, and the way Sarah Paulson's like, no, you have to help because the true power is the power of love or some such nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things where it feels imbalanced.
Yes.
The script feels imbalanced because it really is a showcase for the character from Split. And yet maybe this is my bias because I really like Unbreakable, so I'm like, well, I want the Unbreakable sequel. Maybe that's part of it. Mm-hmm. But it's just in the middle. I mean, there's like a big chunk where we're not even paying attention to the David Dunn story.
No, he's gone for a very, very long time, and I got really happy when he came back.
Yes.
And he gets his raincoat out of the storage and all that. But that's a shot, by the way. Oh, go ahead.
One other thing, I think, and this is not his fault, but I feel like a lot of some of the heavy lifting is given to Spencer Treat Clark as Joseph, and he's kind of like a blank slate. This guy,
Yes, his
I
face.
feel bad saying it that way.
No, well, I mean, a director would. That's pull whatever they want out of you, right?
Yeah.
Like they would tell you to do this or whatever, and that seems like what Shyamalan has a lot of his actors do is this sort of his version of the Spielberg face, right? Where they look sort of blank and lost in thought. Right?
Like it was cool to see him again as a grown up. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. There's Yeah. But after at a certain point, it's just there's dramatic weight that's given to what he does, and it doesn't, like the thing with and the Beast's dad was on the same train, and and the Joker killed the Waynes, and it was like a lot of that for me.
Yeah, which we knew from Split too. That was revealed in Split that his parents were on the same train.
Is that in Split that they were on the same train as David Dunn?
Yeah. So I was sort of like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was like, yeah, I remember that.
Is it? Did I just miss that in Split? Is it like a major thing?
I don't remember how. I just remember that was a thing.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, then
I don't know. There was just this just felt like an intriguing first draft.
Yeah, I think you're.
Where it's like you got a lot of ideas, and this middle, there really is no middle. It's just a long first act, and then like let's work with this because I think there could be something here. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of
I think you're right.
yeah.
You
But
know?
man, it's getting harder and harder to defend this guy. But like I really do feel like you continue to see moments where you're like, no, this guy's got the goods. I just don't know what he needs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, there's no question he's a talented, filmmaker in terms of how he stages, how he's able to build tension.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a great scene where the orderly comes into Elijah's room and it's just
yeah.
like we see it's like Elijah's facing the camera and the orderly has his back to the camera. And just Elijah very quickly you see his hand kind of slash across, and we know he slashed his neck.
Yeah.
But we don't see it happen.
Yes.
And it's just, I mean, that's one of those things where you look at it, you're like, man, that was like really cool how he staged that, you know?
Yeah, and really dark and yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, Sam Jackson, I think he does some really interesting stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Always fun to watch. I'm tired a little bit of the trope of like the douchebag orderly.
yeah. I was thinking the same thing. One of them in particular, I was like, so this is, I imagine, so we don't feel as bad when he dies later.
Exactly. I had that exact thought. Right.
Oh, because he's holding the flashlight over his knees.
Yeah, it's like a big heavy flashlight. He's like, oh, what if I drop it?
If I drop this, yeah, will it break your leg? And all that, by the way, all of that worked for me. All the body horror with Mr. Glass, I was just squirming in my seat. They really
totally.
sell that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think to me, giving so much of like the power of the twist to Sarah Paulson, it never worked for me because it just comes out of left field.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that for a little bit. So, I mean, she's apparently a part of some sort of secret society that is keeping, which is weird too, because when she's a psychologist, it seems like her MO is to help people who are psychologically confused into thinking they're superheroes. But if they exist as this thing, I mean, obviously they do exist.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not as confused. I mean, so she knows they do exist.
She knows they exist, and she like right before David dies, she's like, "Did I convince you?"
So does that mean if she had, she would not have killed him? Is that like her, I will try to talk you out of it, but if I can't, I will.
That's my sense, yes.
And it's funny too, because when they're in that restaurant, it's sort of like it is a cool image where she walks in and you think it's this restaurant of regular patrons, but then all of a sudden they, sort of sit up at attention and listen to what she has to say, and they seem to all be a part of the secret society. And it made me laugh because the bartender has one of the Clover tattoos also, and I was like, well, that sucks. He's got to work while he's he doesn't get to eat dinner with everybody
But like,
else.
what is the organization? What, like, there's no, you know what I mean? You have to seed it somehow.
Yeah.
You can't be like last 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, like it's one thing if we're hearing about something related to this organization or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even
No,
if like David Dunn is going after people related to he keeps finding people with this tattoo.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that'd be levels.
Yes.
In this movie, but this movie has no levels.
Like what's the story with this tattoo? And Spencer Treat Clark is trying to find it. Maybe while David Dunn is in the sanatorium, he finds something. It's like, oh my gosh, and then we're revealed that, and then that's like, oh my gosh, this whole thing has been this, and then oh my gosh, Sarah Paulson is a part of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But it's funny because then again, there's things that I liked, like when Mr. Glass is telling David, he's like, get through that steel door. You know you can do it.
Yes.
And in Bruce Willis, for a minute, his character is partially talked out of it.
Right.
Right? Like thinking, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe she's right. But then when he goes toward the door and his shoulder puts that dent in it, and I was like, like this is what I want this movie.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
What did you think of Bruce Willis in this? I mean, I did get the feeling that he was like kind of checked out, but then I'm like, well, that's kind of how he is in Shyamalan movies. So there's also that.
I don't know. I had heard that before I saw it, that he seemed checked out, and I was thinking about that, but I was like, no, I feel like he's doing what is asked of him. I don't know if Bruce Willis in real life really cares, if there's certain directors he listens to more than others.
Sure.
I mean, that's sort of his character in some way.
Yeah.
I don't know. There wasn't enough of him, and that's probably my
definitely
biggest
was not,
complaint about
yeah.
the movie.
Yeah. So, I guess swing and a miss, Brian.
Yeah, which is a damn shame, especially because there's not going to be another one.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
But I will say this though. even as I walked out of the theater being dissatisfied with what I saw, I was still happy that it's probably going to do well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I
Maybe
was like,
we have Stockholm syndrome with him, but I entirely agree with you, man. I think we are completely on the same page with all of our feelings about this.
it's so funny. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I didn't like it, but I'm glad Knight gets a win.
I kind of am too, and I still will go see what he does. I will always see what he does.
Yeah. Well, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
That's not nothing. So there we go. We are not split on Glass.
Whoa, nice.
There you go. And it is not unbreakable.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to work that in.
But I think that wraps up this conversation. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. But when I walked out, I was dying to talk about this with you.
Yeah, I saw it the night before you, and I'm like texting you. Gotta talk about Glass. Gotta talk about it. So glad we had this opportunity. Well, that like I said, that wraps up Glass. But the hits will keep coming. We've got our conversation talking through Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's coming up. That's going to be our
Can't
next
wait.
commentary track, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
It will be excellent. We will be excellent to each other, and we will party on.
And we will party on, yeah.
So as we wrap things up, Brian, how's things going in Puppy Dog Pals country?
It is going well. It is back. New episodes are back, so excited about those. Some really fun ones coming up. And, it's on Disney Junior, so check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Well, there we go. And as for me, you can find me at my website, Zaki'sCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner, where you can hear every podcast that I appear on, as well as read my latest reviews, including my full write-up for Glass. Also, check out the Nostalgia Theater Show. Last episode of 2018 was my commentary track with John Trumbull for Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and I got a fun conversation scheduled to drop this coming week, which I won't spoil it here, but I think people will enjoy it. And I'm trying to think, what else? What else do we have going on? I think that's it, right?
I'll say about Mask of the Phantasm, that's a movie I've seen, but I don't know super well. And I listened to your commentary, and it was totally enjoyable because it's just fact-filled about Batman the Animated Series and just that whole time when that show existed, and that was a time that meant a lot to me. So I really, really found it to be an enjoyable, informative listen.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I think it helps when you have somebody who is as knowledgeable as John Trumbull. I mean, he knows that series front, back, and sideways, so I get to just sort of I get to sit in the sidecar and just listen to him impress me with his knowledge.
Very cool.
I would like to ask everybody, please go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. Also, if you want to reach out to us, you can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com or hit like on our Facebook page and message us there, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. And, we got lots of fun stuff planned. 2019 is here, and it'll be here for another 12 months. And so will we. So thank you, everybody, for listening. We will catch you next time.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy